3i Atlas stands out as more than a typical comet. Right now, I'd rate it a 4 out of 10 based on those oddities I pointed out earlier. The odds of such a scenario unfolding? About 1 in 500. Are we equipped with the tech and skills to spot and handle potential extraterrestrial threats down the line in an official capacity? Absolutely not. This object upends all our prior assumptions. Whatever its true nature, it might vanish forever after this pass. The saga began on July 1st, when Chile's Atlas Survey Network detected a swift intruder slicing through the heavens. A faint, quiet visitor emerging from Sagittarius, close to the galaxy's crowded stellar heart. Initially, it resembled a remote comet, an icy drifter from the solar system's outer fringes. Yet that idea quickly fell apart. As additional observatories zeroed in, experts soon saw it was hurtling too rapidly to remain tethered to the sun. Its path formed a hyperbola, an unbound curve originating from interstellar voids, set to arc by and depart for good. Speed alone didn't spark concern, though. Precision did. Interstellar wanderers like Oumuamua or Boris usually follow tilted, erratic routes, weaving unpredictably through the planets. This one diverged sharply. 3i Atlas barreled in along a course merely 5 degrees askew from the ecliptic, the orbital disk shared by our key worlds. Further refinements to trajectory calculations revealed an even weirder detail. Rather than merely traversing at an opportune tilt, the body was poised to graze Venus, followed by Mars, and ultimately Jupiter, in that precise succession. A slingshot chain remarkably akin to those engineered for probes. Such symmetry isn't out of the question, but it's hardly the norm for a haphazard space boulder. Indeed, Harvard's Avi Loeb, the astrophysicist famous for bucking norms, openly pegged the likelihood of this lineup arising randomly at around 1 in 20,000. That figure stands alone without confirming extraterrestrial origins, yet it lingers persistently. Next up were appraisals of its dimensions, drawn from luminosity data and presuming a shadowy, stony exterior. 3i Atlas might span as much as 20 kilometers, dwarfing every prior interstellar find. Strangely, in its early stages, it showed zero classic cometary traits. No gas plumes, no evident venting, merely quiet. Such hush could still qualify as happenstance. The universe is immense, after all, leaving plenty of space for the improbable. Still, for keen observers, 3i Atlas radiates an uncanny vibe. Unlike Oumuamua, which slipped away too soon for proper study, we now possess a narrow opportunity to scrutinize this cosmic guest, not post-departure, but right amid its transit through our system's core. The nearer the inspection, the more anomalous it appears. From the instant 3i Atlas's route was mapped out, it was evident this went beyond a mere flyby. The path traced a straight, deliberate line, profoundly unlikely in its neatness. A retrograde loop, opposing planetary drift, aligned with expectations for deep space origins. But its shallow tilt, barely cresting the ecliptic, distinguished it from all other recorded interstellar arrivals. Typically, extrasolar bodies plunge at sharp inclines, swooping from high or low relative to the sun's plane. Yet 3i Atlas drifts parallel to the pathway we exploit for dispatching missions. A zone optimized for fuel savings and gravitational boosts. Mere chance? Possibly. But accumulating symmetries strain that rationale. The encounter lineup, Venus first, Mars next, Jupiter last, echoes tactics from spacecraft navigation blueprints. Truth be told, if an engineer crafted a route to methodically probe the inner planet's sans orbit insertion, it could mirror this precisely. Such design doesn't confirm artificial construction, but it prompts a thornier inquiry. What drives a presumed natural body to navigate with purposeful grace? Certain researchers dismiss these planetary brushes as a probabilistic quirk, a rare but feasible gravitational outcome. Not everyone buys it. Avi Loeb, pressing for thorough, open inquiry, has called on peers to regard 3i Atlas as a teaching moment. Not due to evidence of alien craft, but because the stack of irregularities calls for intensive probing. In his estimation, posing the tougher queries costs us zilch, and could yield vast insights if we uncover the unintended. This push grows more pressing amid the schedule. As 3i Atlas hurtles to perihelion, it will slip behind the sun's glare from our vantage, hitting a tracking blackout precisely when cometary outbursts should intensify. Earthbound scopes will lose sight. Hubble gets occluded. The James Webb Space Telescope, too, must navigate constraints in its aiming. Scientists often impose certain constraints to prevent potential harm. For some observers, these constraints simply represent misfortune. For others, they edge into the realm of strategy, suggesting the entity was crafted to disappear precisely when examined most closely. Although this idea might evoke tales from speculative fiction, the underlying principles of physics hold true. A minor tweak, even a velocity change of merely a few centimeters per second, could gradually alter its path. Should 3I/Atlas possess any propulsion system, whether active or relics from antiquity, such precision would seem entirely feasible. Naturally, no concrete proof of any such device has surfaced so far, yet we possess the tools to investigate. This is precisely why observatories like Hubble and the James Webb Space Telescope are focused intently, probing its surrounding haze, recording its emissions, and searching for molecular clues that might reveal its authentic character. If this visitor proves to be as it seems, organic, primordial, and completely passive, it could still offer profound insights into our galaxy, surpassing the lessons from prior comets. However, should it deviate from that assumption, with a path that's intentional rather than haphazard, we might be gazing upon an artifact vastly more ancient and purposeful than any relic humanity has previously discovered. For several weeks, instruments on the ground and in orbit worldwide have been trained on 3I/Atlas, grappling with a query as timeless as human curiosity itself. What, precisely, is this thing? Initially, the intruder offered no signs of life. Absent were evident gas outflows, a trailing envelope, or any indication of material loss. It was merely a frigid, substantial nucleus drifting silently across the cosmos. Yet, as it drew nearer to our star, transformations occurred. The hazy sheath developed gradually, a subtle, spread-out layer of vapor and particles. Still, its actions deviated from the norm. Typically, in comets, sunlight drives away fine matter, creating elongated appendages that fan out like sails billowing in a breeze. Yet, a portion of 3I/Atlas's particle flow appeared to curve sunward, hinting that denser fragments were defying the usual outward pressure. This anomaly alone pointed to atypical makeup, possibly involving heavy elements like metals or grains bulkier than those in ordinary comet debris. Spectral readings from advanced tools on the James Webb Space Telescope and ground facilities such as Gemini South soon provided more details. Experts pieced together its molecular makeup, uncovering elements that were recognizable yet disturbing. H2O, frozen volatiles, carbon-laden particles, mineral silicates, and carbon-based organics. Nothing out of the ordinary in isolation. Indeed, such components frequently appear in comets. But these substances weren't newly formed. They dated back eons, potentially predating the sun, locked in near-perfect condition like artifacts stored in cryogenic storage for 7 billion years. Certain molecules displayed scant signs of cosmic ray exposure, little evidence of heat fluctuations, and absorption lines implying they'd avoided stellar proximity until this journey. Adding to the enigma was the discrepancy in luminosity versus dimensions. The surrounding glow was exceptionally bright, while calculations pegged the central body as smaller than anticipated for such vigor. This prompted theories from the research community. Perhaps the exterior doesn't merely reflect light efficiently, but scatters it in an extraordinary manner, maybe owing to a polished surface or even a fabricated casing. With each fresh observation, the puzzle intensified instead of clarifying. The deeper the inquiry, the greater the inconsistencies. Every indicator, whether molecular, visual, or kinematic, built upon a dossier that defied the behaviors of familiar icy wanderers. Perhaps the most troubling aspect concerns its provenance. Trajectory modeling traces its starting point toward the Milky Way's dense disk, an area packed with aged suns and early solar remnants, distant from the vibrant, nascent star-forming zones that spawn worlds. This implies 3I/Atlas has journeyed for billions of years to reach us. It might represent a remnant, a piece of cosmic history untouched since the universe's dawn. Alternatively, it could embody an entirely different entity, a remnant of artifice, an obsolete scout, a sentinel stirred by celestial glow. Experts avoid definitive declarations. No credible researcher proclaims extraterrestrial origins sans irrefutable evidence. Yet, discussions increasingly lean not to conviction but to plausibility, as 3i/Atlas compels us to challenge the boundaries of established theories. Within those boundaries lurk hints of the unfamiliar. Before long, 3i/Atlas will depart. It will slip behind the sun, obscured by brilliance, beyond the grasp of our finest viewing devices. Upon reappearance after several weeks, dimmer, chillier, and subdued, it will already be receding. A quiet outsider retreating into the emptiness that birthed it. In its wake, we'll retain datasets, light analyses, photographs, graphs, all extraordinary, yet ultimately ambiguous. Even armed with humanity's pinnacle technology, certainty may elude us. Was this an unparalleled comet, or an intentional construct? An entity calibrated to graze nearby, without full exposure, revealing glimpses but withholding the full truth. Perhaps it's mere chance, a pristine survivor from a remote stellar realm pursuing an unlikely route across our system. Yet if it's not genuine, if the path, the spark, the quiet all suggest something crafted, then 3Atlas could mark the initial signal from a vanished society, or perhaps one that observes from afar without a word. A scout that stays mute, never touches down, never lingers. It simply glides by and fades away, like a specter in the void. And that might be the chilliest twist. Not the chance of a visit, but the idea that we weren't the goal. Merely a brief pause on the route. A marker in the blackness. No matter the reality, this instant counts. 3Atlas has achieved what so few visitors manage. It compelled us to challenge our assumptions, to expand our view of what's feasible, and to wonder anew, are we truly isolated, or simply overlooking the signs? If you've stuck with this till now, you're among the rare ones tuning in. So send out a beacon. Join the quest into the stellar enigma. And if this voyage resonates, the puzzle, the hush, the rush of uncertainty, think about joining as a supporter. We're crafting a space tailored for seekers like you. Before long, we'll roll out special material for those eager to plunge deeper and venture onward. The heavens hold no voids. They never did. And at last, we're starting to glimpse their secrets. Music,